Ooh, that's a fancy castle. Alright, where's this Delicia lady? Wow, a candy castle! There are even some fairies over there. Sickeningly sweet. I'm surprised I've gone as long as I have in this case so far without mentioning that I don't like sugar. This room seems to be structured in the same way as Master's room, but it's nowhere near as cold. This room also seems to have been fitted with a temperature control panel. Yeah, we have reason to believe that's the case with all of them. It's over by that orange lamp, right? Indeed. Let's not forget to investigate it later. Or right now, whatever comes first. Even so, this room is like something out of a fairy tale. Is this cream-covered castle Delicia's work? Where is Delicia? Oi! Can I help you? Oh, you tiny. Well, that's an interesting design. Hello, boys. I'm Delicia Scones. In my native England, I'm known as Miss Delicious. Being called a boy even though I'm already 34. You're 34? I'm gonna be honest with you, Gregory. You look like you're definitely at minimum in your 40s. All right. Certainly a rare experience. Do we have a confirmed... Oh, no, we do not. Age non-known. Fair enough. Okay. Boys? I understand you calling me that, but Mr. Edgeworth? As far as I'm concerned, you're all boys to me. Even that detective over there. My name is Bad, not Boy. You got one of the letters right. Actually, yeah. Just how old is this woman? I guess it's a mystery. Mr. Attorney, let's just finish our business here. Yeah, all right, sure. Right. Oh, dear God, no, please, God, no. You! What do you think you're doing, conversing with a mere attorney? Oh, Lord. Wait, he was in the castle! The scary man came out of the candy castle! Manfred von Karma emerging from a candy castle. That's just a weird sight. Von Karma. This man is Prosecutor von Karma? Either that or Dracula. Manny! So he's Von Karma. Pleased to meet you, Prosecutor von Karma. My name is Gregory Edgeworth, defense attorney. Boy howdy, is this a relationship that's going to turn out interesting? And by interesting, I mean horrifying. Bah! I have no interest in the names of defense attorneys. After all, they only exist to be crushed by me. What a rude man. That piercing gaze and furrowed brow. Ugh, it's even scarier than the rumors say. Although that statement was also very rude. Prosecutor von Karma, would you allow us to investigate too? No. You think I would give information to a mere defense attorney? As I thought, he's a total, complete, and utter tool. It won't be that simple. However, I'll make a special exception for this room. Why did he change his mind so quickly? You, old bloodhound. Don't call me that. My name is Bad. A mere detective speaking back to me. I admire your courage, at least. Bad. Stand watch and see to it that they don't misbehave. Me? I will not accept your refusal. Well then, I'll be investigating Gustavia's room next. Well, at least I don't have to talk to him. That's nice, at least. Babysitting again. I wonder why he and Von Karma aren't investigating together, other than the fact that they very clearly hate each other. So, that's the thing. Instead of being on bad terms, it seems like they hardly know each other. I get the overwhelming impression, probably due to the fact that he's a massive cheater who constantly, forges evidence and does a whole bunch of other incredibly sketchy stuff, that he deliberately tries to not spend time with professional investigators. That's just my currently running theory. Now that we've got Von Karma's permission, we can continue investigating. Yes, his manners bother me, but I'm glad we can at least continue the investigation. Hold it. I also need to investigate this room. I don't want you disturbing the room. So you'll investigate after me. What? Aren't you the detective in charge of this case? Why haven't you investigated this room yet? The detective in charge of the initial investigation was a close colleague of Von Karma. I came to take over for him, so I only got to this mansion just recently. So that's why he and Von Karma aren't investigating together. Also, it's not at all... I mean, I was gonna say it's not at all suspicious that, a personally chosen detective would be the one that Von Karma has investigating everything for him. But I mean, that's not terribly different than what Edgeworth and Gumshoe do, so I can't really say that as a thing, but still. Detective Bad, will you allow us to investigate with you like before? In doing so, you'll be able to supervise us and also ensure we don't tamper with anything. I'm gonna watch you? You're a strange lawyer. I'll let you stick around a little longer. Yeah, you did it, Mr. Edgeworth! Dang straight. I bow to you. Thank you, Detective Bad. But if I decide you're holding up the investigation, you'll have to leave. Yes, I understand. Well then, let's begin the investigation. It has begun again! Let's go, people! Alright, first things first. What you gotta say about any of the haps that be going down? This room has the same design as Master's room. Is something bothering you? Von Karma was investigating inside the Candy Castle. That's just weird. I wonder why. Detective Bad, do you suspect Delicia? That woman is hiding something. My detective spirit is telling me so. Is that his detective's intuition? Something about this room definitely troubles me as well. I should listen to what Delicia has to say. Oh boy, that's something we're going to have to do. Alright, well, before I do... No. We should definitely focus on all the people first. Then we can focus on everything else in the room. A sickly sweet smell of cream. Yes, this truly is a fairy tale world. And yet, here in this sugary sweet room, there was one with such a sour face. He doesn't belong in this room. That scary old man. Raymond, mind what you say. You're being a bit rude. Sorry! It won't happen again. If you're going to be snarky and snide, make sure to do it within your internal dialogue. You reminded me of my old school teacher who used to get mad at me a lot. A school teacher? I definitely don't want to think of my son being taught by such a man. Why'd you have to go and add a line like that? Oh. I just took emotional and psychic damage. Ah, oh. Like actually, reading that exact line felt like a punch to the heart. All right, strawberry shortcake. Are you hiding or gorging? Miss Delicia, you don't seem as energetic as you were earlier. Delicia, can I just ask, did something happen with Von Karma? Yesy, nothing of the sort. You just said yes. Yeah, you just said yesy. That yesy just now was only a greeting. You're a cute boy, I like you. What's your first name? It's Raymond, but... Well, Ray, I think you'll make a good man of yourself someday. Ray. How about that? I think you have a way with British ladies. She's a little different from my image of a lady. I mean, she does kind of look more like a cartoon character, but, well, why don't we listen to what she has to say? As if we had a choice. Anyway, what do you want to bet this lady actually is hiding something spooky? Could you tell me about your actions during the contest? Yes, see? We began making desserts from the contest around 10 o'clock. Basically, I was in here making my desserts the whole time. At 1:30, I joined the afternoon tea for about an hour or so. Afternoon tea? It's a social occasion where conversation is had over black tea and cakes. So it's pretty much a tea party. Well, I suppose. It's impossible to say that's not... Oh, Greggy, you're a smart boy, aren't ya? How did I become Greggy? Where was the afternoon tea held? The roof. It took place in the gardens outside of the fountain patio. It's a customary break time during the contest, and it's always held at the same time. So wait, this has been going on for more than a day? I mean, it would make sense. Everything looks way too intricate to only have been done in a single day, but... I mean, I feel like that's new info. Today, there were just 3 of us who took part. Jeffy, Katie, and me. Since Jeffy had already finished his creations, he was there from beginning to end. Icy and Gusty didn't join in because they hadn't finished their desserts yet. So, everyone other than Mr. Dover and Mr. Gustavia participated. Yes, actually, I hadn't finished my dessert yet either, but I just wanted to try some of Jeffy's handmade pastries and Katie's fresh brewed tea. So, after I'd eaten my fill, I returned before everyone else. She said she's British. Why am I giving her a faux southern accent? That's weird. During the contest, did you enter any of the other contestants' rooms? No? What are you saying? Well, we found your fingerprints on the desserts at the crime scene. You found them? Are you admitting that you went to the scene of the murder? I admit it, but I'm not the murderer. It's the honest truth, please hear me out. All right, well then what's the honest truth? What were you doing in Mr. Master's room? Truth is, I was studying his desserts. Studying? Because Jeffy's so talented at making sweets, well, nobody was in his room at the time, so I just decided to study his works for a bit. I see. Okay, fair enough, I guess. But if you were just looking, you wouldn't have left your fingerprints behind. You were actually physically making touchy-touch. Yeah, see? It's natural that I left fingerprints on the desserts. For the sake of research, I ate some of his desserts. Isn't that like stealing food? And cheating? Couldn't be. The one who wrecked Mr. Master's room was... I'm sorry. It wasn't my intention to vandalize the room, but I did eat few parts of the desserts in his room. You grabbed a flame from the candle, a chunk of the chocolate frame, and what, did you just take a gigantic chomp out of the base of the ship? I secretly ate little bits and pieces so Jeffy wouldn't find out. So, did you eat the ship stand as well? Yeah, see, I did. That's just weird. The chocolate ship broke because of you. I'm sorry. So the reason she left the afternoon tea early was to preserve her appetite. But you gotta believe me on this, I'm not the murderer. Her actions are sufficiently suspicious, but I won't press on it yet. Is there a particular reason why we aren't pressing on it yet? Because that's all very, very dubious. I guess because we don't really have a lot of information to work with. All right, well, let's talk to this fellow here. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. If you do, you're only gonna eat that castle. This forensics officer seems to be on a diet. All right, well, you'd definitely get fired if you ended up doing that. All right, let's take a look-see-loos at this here thing. What the heck is inside? I can't believe this amazing castle is made entirely out of confectionery. I know, what a work of fantasy. It's like a fairy tale world. You like all this fairy tale stuff, don't you? Sorry, I got a bit too excited, didn't I? No, it's interesting to me since you're so enthusiastic about it, unlike my son. Ha! My son is such a killjoy. Your son? Have they never talked about him yet? He's only in grade school, and he prefers to read law books instead of fairy tales. I'm worried that he won't be able to make any friends that he can talk to. He makes two. Sort of only one, but I mean technically two. What an interesting kid. I'd like to be his friend. I think you'd be more of an older brother to him. An older brother, huh? I guess you just ate the fact that he has a son? That's weird. Well, I've got some growing up to do then. Yes, and that's why you have to continue with the investigation. All right, I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Hell yeah! All right, let's see. Well, first and foremost, what's up with all the stuff in here? The castle doors are open. When someone opens a door, they really should remember to close it afterwards. Would you say that directly to Prosecutor Von Karma, though? Were you raised in a barn, Karma? Looks like there's some stuff inside. Let's see. Wait, I'll examine it. Stay out of the way. Fine, if we must. This fresh cream melts too easily. Ooh, this cream is melting. A single touch can cause it to break. Oh, then are we to be believed that the temperature may have been tampered with? Seems like Detective Bad's shoes got covered in cream. Why were these objects kept inside the candy castle? If there's anything you want to investigate, you better speak up now. All right, how about all the crap that's inside? There are rolls of blue cloth here. Looks like there's 4 of them in all. They certainly don't look like desserts. Yeah, I don't know what the cloth is for. It almost seems like it was hidden here inside the castle. Also, the color of this cloth looks familiar somehow. Yeah, that's definitely the cloth that was wrapped around the dead body. That's definitely something to bring up. On top of everything else, the rules of the contest clearly show that decorations that aren't edible are completely not allowed. All right, that's interesting. Did I really not I didn't get to bring the cloth or anything? Okay, that's weird. 2 big rocks are placed here. It's like a storage room. The inside of the candy castle isn't so dreamy. Hey, maybe they're raw gemstones? Who knew that there were such treasures hidden within the castle? Seems like a rather careless way to handle treasure. Looks like there's something underneath the rocks. Seems there's a pedestal attached to both of the rocks. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I can tell by the shape that I think I know what that's about. Of course, it's a pedestal for displaying the gems. Well, in any case, this is no ordinary object. Okay, interesting. Let me examine these. This pillar has a hexagonal recess. Looks like a pedestal, but it has nothing in it. A hexagonal recess, huh? I wonder what would have been put in there. I have a theory on that particular one. Interesting. A giant strawberry would fit with the fresh cream. Detective Bad, I don't think strawberries are hexagonal. I was just hoping. Then I hope it's a banana. I think I'd prefer blueberries. I would rather not have any of those things. Those all sound pretty gross to me. Anyway, hexagonal recess and pedestals of rock. That's pretty cut and dry obvious to me. Alrighty, let's looky. The rock's pedestal has a similar shape to the recesses on the castle's pillars. Perhaps this rock is meant to be placed on top of the pillars. Ah, that's right. They're both hexagonal. I wonder why they were hidden inside the castle, though. The blue cloth and the rocks inside the castle. I wonder if they belong to Delicia. Delicia! Those things in the castle, what are they used for? Those? I'm afraid I can't tell you. Looks like Von Karma is keeping her silence. I've been found out! He'll get mad at me if I talk. Prosecutor Von Karma, forcing witnesses to say nothing. Charming. Doesn't intend on being upfront with his information. Such a shame. We finally figured out where the rocks are supposed to go. Could it be that you're interested in my goods? Your goods? Well, those are my popular relaxation goods. You mean the rocks and the cloth? Yeah, see? That's right. You see, they're not actually rocks, but special lamps made from rock salt. Wow, so those are lamps? It gets even more exciting, because this cloth also has an amazing secret. As soon as we showed interest in her goods, she became quite talkative. Since we got them out, come experience the therapy, boys. Batty, could you put everything up? It's not Batty, it's Bad. So, you won't do it? Is Batty being a bad boy? I mean, that seems to be his operandi. He says nothing. Labby, are you done photographing this room? Yes, sir, I am. Then go help Delicia. Yes, sir, I'm on it. Thanks. I knew you were a good boy underneath, Batty. It's delicious. That was amazing. You even persuaded Detective Bad. Everybody's getting everyone's names wrong today. Thanks a lot, Batty. And you too, Forensies. She even gave the forensics a nickname? I think that's her way of showing she cares. What's so therapeutic about these things anyway? We don't have time for that now, Batty. The show's about to begin. Forensies, finishing touches, please. Yes, ma'am. All right, what the hell's going on here? Okay, the cloth glows. Wow, it's so beautiful. It really is. I wish my son could see this. Oh man, Gregory freaking loves his son. That's so depressing. Ugh, just knowing what happens. I mean, I told you so, right? The 4 fairies and the curious candy castle was the theme of my work. It's so sparkly and cute, right? It seems like one of them is missing something. What do you mean? I mean, maybe the one on the far... Oh, I was gonna say honestly, truthfully, I thought the one on the far right has like missing his wings and that's what I was supposed to notice. One of them doesn't have a cloth. I'll have to take a look at that. The truth is, I'd planned to unveil it during the contest. Well, I'm glad I got to show it to you boys. Huh? But it doesn't look like the rock salt lamps are lighting up. Huh? I wonder why. I think I'll need to examine it. Can you eat rock salt? Either way, can you eat that cloth? Are you cheating? I'll need to examine the rocks and the fairies again. Can do, will do. Let's start with the fairies, actually. Like you. You don't got no cloth. What up with that? Unlike the other fairies, this one doesn't have a fluorescent cloth. It's delicious. It's not right to leave one out. I don't like it either, but one fluorescent cloth and a machine has gone missing. We've lost a cloth and a machine? What sort of machine is it? Oh, oi, let me tell you. Do British people say oi? Oi, yeah, oi, God, yeah, of course they do. God, I'm stupid. Anyway, each piece of fluorescent cloth is hooked up to one of these machines, which is also non-edible. The machine is called a rainbow light device. Light is sent through the cable and into the cloth, which is made of optic fibers, which you definitely cannot eat. I know I'm sticking to this, but I just know it's going to be relevant later. Just fiddle around with the settings a bit and it'll turn into all sorts of colors. When it glows red, it's like a raging inferno. And when it glows blue, you can almost feel the glittering cool ice. It's powered by a long-lasting battery that's resistant to changes in the temperature. I'm not very familiar with these kinds of devices. Mr. Edgeworth, she's saying it's a machine that transmits light to the special cloth. I see. It's amazing what they come up with these days. He doesn't seem too in tune with technology. So, one rainbow light device and one fluorescent cloth are missing. You see? That's right. Wherever could they be? This fluorescent cloth. Could it be related to the case? Sure is. That much is absolute certain. All right, let's see here. Anything else of note? I'm just trying to wander about. Doesn't seem so. Okay. Let's take another look-see-loos at this. Okay, well, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say that there's a bunch of blood on that rock salt lamp. How did nobody notice that when they put it up? Looks like both the lamps and the pillar are broken. Both of their light bulbs are broken. Maybe they were dropped on the floor. There's some sort of red stain on this lamp's surface. Really, dudes? This stain. Could it be? That smell. Oh, there's no mistaking it. It's a blood stain. Yeah, all right. Well, looks like we found the murder weapon. That's handy. Eh? That's a blood stain. Why is there a blood stain on this lamp? I wonder if this has something to do with the lamp bulb being broken. Are you asking if somebody bludgeoned someone over the head so hard that a light bulb broke? I'm gonna go ahead and say probably. You should also take a look at the other lamp here. Oh, okay, sure. I can do that. So this is where Delicia originally intended to put the lamps. I don't get why she put them in the castle. Since they're broken and don't light up, maybe she decided to put them out of the way. If she wanted them out of the way, there are many other places to store them. It's like that old saying, hide the salt in the sugar bag. I think the saying goes, hide a tree in the forest, but all right, whatever. If Delicia intended to use these lamps as decorations during the contest, it creates a contradiction with the piece of evidence. I need to deduce the contradiction at the scene. Oh, wait. I do? Oh, yeah, no, duh. I've been waiting on being able to talk about this for so long that it almost flew over my damn head. All right, so, yeah, finally, at long last. Okay, where are these damn contestants? There we go.
Eureka!
Eureka! Detective Bad, please read the contest leaflet. Any decorations not made from desserts are prohibited. Huh. These rock salt lamps and the fluorescent cloths go against the rules. She's a rule breaker! So, maybe that's why they were hidden in the castle? I wonder about that. I think we should investigate further into Delicia's actions. That we most certainly should. I don't know if I need to look at the cloth, but let's look at the cloth. The castle door is adorned with a beautiful cloth. I think this was the cloth that was in the castle. Entranceways are always beautiful. That's what a detective thinks. Yes, after Detective Bad's shoes are trampled all over it. But this is no time for snide remarks. There's always time for snide remarks. It's literally like 50% of my job. Anyway, there's one more thing I wanted to look. I should look at this first, frankly. There's a cover on the wall just like Mr. Master's room. Let's open it up, and what do we got here? The room temperature is 68 degrees Fahrenheit and the lights are set to green. Gustavius said that 50 degrees Fahrenheit is the ideal temperature for fresh cream. This room's temperature is too high. That would explain the melty parts. Good, good. All right. I was kind of hoping that was the case. This is intriguing. All right, I should have like a bajillion logic thingies up in here, so let's take a look-see. Yeah, woohoo! All right, let's see. First things first. Beaten to death and bloodstained rock salt lamp. How about that? Let's see. First things first. Beaten to death and bloodstained rock salt lamp. How about that? Let's see. First things first. Beaten to death and bloodstained rock salt lamp. How about that? Let's see. First things first. Beaten to death and bloodstained rock salt lamp. How about that? Let's see. First things first. Beaten to death and bloodstained rock salt lamp. How about that? Let's see. First things first. Beaten to death and bloodstained rock salt lamp. How about that? Let's see. First things first. Beaten to death and bloodstained rock salt lamp. How about that? Let's see. First things first. Beaten to death and bloodstained rock salt lamp. How about that? Let's see. First things first. Beaten to death and bloodstained rock salt lamp. How about that? Let's see. First things first. Beaten to death and bloodstained rock salt lamp. How I'm gonna go ahead and say logically it would make a lot of sense unless somebody else got hit by this thing and got blood all over it. There's evidence that the victim was beaten to death with a blunt object. I'd say a rock salt lamp counts as a blunt object. What's more, there's a blood stain on one of the broken rock salt lamps. Could this lamp have been the murder weapon? Right, it could have been used as a weapon. Labby, is the blood analysis on this rock salt lamp finished? I didn't know we had one going. Yes, sir, it finished just a few moments ago. Are those really that fast? The blood stain on that lamp belonged to the victim. Huh, you heard what he said. That is definitely a murder weapon. Why was it here? So many questions. The murder weapon was hidden in Delicia's room. We need to consider her as one of the suspects as well. All right, also fragile desserts and high room temperature. Gonna go ahead and say on that one. We're gonna connecto those things up. The reason the fresh cream is so fragile is due to the temperature in this room. So my shoes got creamed because the room temperature is set at 68 degrees. Speaking of which, I'm surprised I didn't bother just going with it being Celsius. When you opened the castle door, the doorknob didn't break. Yeah, it was stronger than I thought. Strong? A dessert? Detective Bad, could you have a closer look at that doorknob? What up? It would seem this doorknob isn't a dessert. Interesting. And it's not just the doorknob. This castle and the fairies. They're just plastic molds coated in fresh cream. Eh? This isn't a dessert piece at all. It would seem they're just fake desserts covered in fresh cream. All right, so she's basically Queen Cheaty Pants. That's interesting. All right, well, broke the rules. Fake desserts. That all definitely connects in my mind. All right, what's the haps here? Using decorations that were against the rules and making fake desserts and doing it so absurdly blatantly and obviously. Did she really think she'd get away with this? A lot of Delicia's actions seem suspicious. Yeah, it doesn't seem like she's aiming to be the world's greatest pastry chef. Also, the temperature of the room is way too high. Is there a reason for that? Either one of two possibilities ring out in my mind. Either A, somebody also sabotaged this room, or B, she doesn't know that? I wonder. I think we should ask Alicia directly. And so we shall. All right, what the hell's going on with everything that's been going on? I sure attempted to click that and failed. Good job, me. Room temperature, let's go. Alicia, why is the room temperature set to 68 degrees? The cold doesn't agree with me. Plus, it's bad for the body. This figure doesn't just maintain itself, you know. Naturally, as a lady, I want to look young forever. I wonder how old Miss Delicious really is. Raymond, a true gentleman never asks a woman her age. Yeah, I always found that weird. But okay, this room is mainly filled with cream, and 50 degrees is the recommended temperature for preserve and fresh cream. What? Really? Oh, now it's all gone to waste. It looks like Miss Delicious didn't know. That's odd. I thought she was supposed to be a first-class pastry chef. Well, the logic would say that she seems to be rather incompetent, actually. The fake desserts and the rule violations, and now her lack of basic knowledge. Looks like she keeps many secrets. All right, let me take a step back real quick, if it's all cool with y'all. Were you studying the desserts because you don't know how to make dessert? Is that what this is all about? This is more than a little weird. Delicia's knowledge in the art of dessert making is lacking in fundamental areas. And she claims she went into Mr. Master's room in order to study his desserts. These actions and ideas are not fitting of someone aiming to be the world's greatest pastry chef. Sounds more like a fraud or somebody who just got in and way over their head. Yeah. They don't sound like the words of a pro. It's like she doesn't even realize it. Or maybe she isn't a real pastry chef. Perhaps she had some other intention. It's possible that she didn't go into the room to study desserts. So then, are you saying Miss Delicious is the criminal? Well, we can't say that for sure yet. I can't say I have evidence to support. I have some things that lead to her, but I'm nothing definitive. But I know she's hiding something from us. That much is obvious. All right, I feel pretty good about that investigation. Very fruitful. That's enough. Investigating. His run-on sentences are so hard to read. We found much more than I expected. Yeah, I realized that too. Damn. All right, and yet, something from before still bothers me. Prosecutor Von Karma must have found the murder weapon in this room. Either that or he's also incompetent. So then, why did he let Delicia be? Firstly, I must ascertain Von Karma's true motives, other than being just a scumlord. Detective Bad, I'd like to ask Prosecutor Von Karma something. I've also got business with him. And Delicia there, too. Yeah, what's the idea, Batty? Don't glare at me like that. Seems Detective Bad also has his doubts about Delicia and Von Karma. Also, why was he trying to keep her silent? Delicia, would you come with us for a moment? Yesy? That's fine. What for? We have to find Von Karma. There are some things we need to talk about. Alrighty. There is much to discuss, I dare say. Prosecutor Von Karma, we need to talk about the case. From the looks in your face, I assume you found the murder weapon? Yes. We discovered the murder weapon in Delicia's room. It would seem Mr. Master isn't the only suspect in this case. Bah, that's not true. Where the murder weapon was found does not change the fact that Master is the culprit. As long as I am here. Why is Von Karma so sure of himself? It's like, it doesn't matter what the actual truth or facts are when I'm the one doing the job. Well then, aren't you going to explain why the murder weapon was in Delicia's room? Naturally. If you wish to know, I'll tell you. Ooh! This is exciting, not gonna lie. In order to pin the crime on Delicia, Master used the rock salt lamp to kill the victim. He then deposited the murder weapon in Delicia's room. If he had left the murder weapon at the crime scene, Master would have been the one suspected. He couldn't move the body, but it was easy to move the murder weapon. Ergo, there would be no evidence pointing to a specific culprit at the crime scene. Huh. Mr. Master took the rock salt lamp? Precisely. I carried out the investigation myself. There could be no room for doubt. Do you have evidence that he moved it? That will not be necessary. What? If you have an objection, say it. Okay. Do you think a mere defense attorney can break my logic? I mean, a little bit, yeah, actually. Okay, hang on. In order to pin the crime on Delicia, use the victim's thing. He then deposited the murder weapon in Delicia's room. If he had left the murder weapon at the crime scene, Master would have been the one suspected. So he took it over there, used it as a weapon, and then brought it back? He couldn't move the body, but it was easy. Okay, well... Nah. He totally could, though. Easily. Objection. What do you think of this piece of evidence, Prosecutor Von Karma? A foolish question. It's not even... Oh, crap, I did it wrong. Just pitiful. Can you even call yourself a defense attorney? I am a defense attorney. What an inferior rebuttal. Oh, man, I don't want to look like a jackass in front of this guy. No, I can't say I expected much from a defense attorney. He really looks down on me. Crap. Maybe it was the wrong one. He couldn't move the body. Ergo, there would be no evidence pointing to a specific culprit at the crime. Okay, no. Right idea, wrong place. There we go. This guy gets under my skin and he frazzles me so. It's true that the murder weapon and bloodstains disappeared from the vicinity. However, there was still one piece of incriminating evidence left behind. Have a look at this photograph, which was taken when the body was first discovered. Okay. This cloth was used to wrap the body. Doesn't it remind you of the fluorescent cloth from Delicia's room? Yeah, my fluorescent cloth was at the crime scene? Fluorescent cloth. You! Just what part of this cloth is fluorescent? I guess Von Karma doesn't know about the cloth's secret. Looks like a normal cloth at first glance, but if you use this rainbow light device, you can make it glow! Hey! All right! Prosecutor Von Karma seems a little surprised. I don't think it was the cloth's ability to glow that surprised him. One sheet of this fluorescent cloth is currently unaccounted for. Now, I'd like you to look at the color of the cloth in this photo. Don't you think it looks like the cloth on the color of the fluorescent cloth before it's been lit up? Both the rock salt lamp and the fluorescent cloth originally belonged to Alicia. Wouldn't it be natural to assume that this cloth was used to wrap the body? Prosecutor Von Karma, I believe the present condition gives us much reason to suspect Alicia. Yeah! I sure do. Did she lift that back up with her foot? Hold it, Greggy! Do you really suspect me? I don't yet know if you are the culprit, but you are suspicious as all hell, and I really can't let that go. But it is true that you're hiding something, am I right? That's... So, you're saying that the murder weapon and the cloth were originally from Delicia's room? I most assuredly am, yes. I mean, it was literally her tool. What's so funny? Just as I expected from you. The murder weapon and the cloth are not from her room. How unfortunate for you. What does he mean? Before the contest began, Master noticed her violation of the rules. He confiscated the cloth and the rock salt lamp and kept them in his room for safekeeping. Oh. The victim was not seen as he stayed locked up in his room after the contest had begun. The only one who could have unlocked the locked room was Jeff Master. He deliberately held on that one. All right. The murder weapon, the rock salt lamp, was being kept in Master's room. This should be the decisive evidence in proving Master's guilt. Defense attorney, you've lost to me before you even had a chance to stand in court. What's this? What? Was all our investigating for nothing? Mr. Delicious, why didn't you tell us about your confiscated items? Well, Manny said I'd look suspicious if I did. Prosecutor Von Karma? And it's true, you all suspect me, don't you? How clumsy of you, defense attorney. Von Karma. So that's why you let us investigate Delicia's room. You just wanted to make us look like assholes. And in your clumsiness, there's one more thing I need to inform you of. 2 sets of fingerprints were found on the murder weapon. 2? Yes. They belong to Jeff Master and Delicia Scones. No other fingerprints were found. After Master killed Dover with the confiscated rock salt lamp, he foolishly concealed the murder weapon bearing his own fingerprints in its owner's room. Tisk, tisk. I don't even need to prove my case in court. I have more than enough perfect evidence to prove Master's guilt. Gonna call nah to that mess. Hold it. I still have some... Why don't they just say hold it? I still have some doubts about the fluorescent cloth found in Mr. Master's room. Bah! Irrelevant! After disposing of the body, he intended to return it to Delicia's room. I don't have enough information to refute Von Karma's reasoning. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Nothing left to say? If your job is done, leave this place. That's... I can't give up yet. We've wasted enough time as it is. Bad, take them away. There are still some doubts left in our investigation. Detective Bad? What's the meaning of this? It's not my nature to leave any doubts behind. There's still one piece of evidence that is yet to be identified. That's right. There are still the traces someone left behind. Ah, talk about your doubts as much as you want later. But this, my dear attorney, is none of your business. I say that it does have a lot to do with my business. No, I also have some doubts about one piece of evidence. It's likely that I have the same doubts Detective Bad has. What? This is the piece of evidence left in Mr. Master's room that is yet to be identified. Yeah, the fingerprints, because there were no, there were no fingerprints, rather. The lack of them. That means somebody with gloves was running around. Somebody left gloved finger marks on one of Mr. Master's desserts. If these were the killer's finger marks, then it's possible that the killer also didn't leave any fingerprints on the murder weapon. Haha! How did you know the state of the crime scene? I gave them permission to investigate. Haha, didn't plan on that one, did ya? Bad! What possessed you to let a defense attorney into the crime scene? I don't recall. You telling me not to let them in. Ah! Such impudence. You'd best remember, Bad. Your salary review depends on me. Shades of Gumshoe echo throughout history. This isn't good for Bad. I'm so glad I have a kind boss like Mr. Edgeworth. Your salary review depends on how you perform here. I'm surprised at what a mere attorney like you managed to uncover in such a short time. However, it's possible those finger marks were Master's own doing, because he always wore gloves while cooking. Then why were they on the friggin' lamp? Do you have evidence that those fingerprints were left by Master? And moreover, there are still a few points of suspicion surrounding Delicia. Oh? You still haven't given up on that? Oh, Greggy, you still suspect me? I've already apologized for stealing a few bites. I don't want to suspect you. However, I can't easily trust those who tell lies. You must still be hiding something. Greggy is a bully. Don't you know the temperature fresh cream must be kept at? You call yourself a dessert chef, but you lack even the most basic knowledge. I'm sorry for my lack of knowledge. In your case, it's not even about the lack of knowledge. In truth, you don't even know how to make desserts, do you? Defense attorney! Stop trying to force your own reasoning. In a court of law, the evidence tells all. If you say the witness is lying, show it with evidence. All right, sure, that's easy. We're not in court yet, but all right, sure. This evidence shows that Delicia can't make desserts. The fact that literally nothing is a dessert in that damn room. The only thing Delicia made were those that broke the rules. The lamp and cloth that broke the rules were being held in Master's room. There's no way the witness could have returned them to her room. Those were not the only fake desserts she made. What? Her desserts may look like something out of a fairy tale at first glance, but in reality, they are nothing but mannequins decorated with cream. Apart from the cream, they're all fake. This is not something one aiming to become the world's greatest pastry chef would do. Is this true, Bad? Yes. My shoes can attest to that. Will that be enough to convince Prosecutor Von Karma? Once he sees what Delicia has done, he'll have no choice but to be convinced. Unless he just says, nah, I don't wanna. That sounds like something he would do. Delicia, the fact that your actions could lead to you being a suspect is no laughing matter. I didn't murder! Isn't it time you told us the whole truth? Who are you? And why were you indulging yourself in another contestant's work? Yes, I understand. I'm very curious. The truth is, I'm not really a dessert chef like I led you to believe. I'm actually a pharmacist. What? A pharmacist? Where's your lab coat? It's a completely different occupation. It's no wonder he couldn't hide a surprise. It's like saying if you met an astronaut and he actually ended up telling you he was a professional skateboarder. Why is a pharmacist like you participating in this contest? I just love eating desserts. I joined because I thought I'd be able to eat some of Jeffy's desserts. I never thought I'd end up making it to the finals. Even Prosecutor Von Karma's at a loss for words. How on earth did you make it this far through bluffing? So that's the real reason why you entered the contest? Yeah, see? As expected, Jeffy's desserts were oh so good. So, the gloved finger marks on the picture frame were your doing? No way! I never wore gloves. I'm not nearly careful enough to do that. Delicia's fingerprints were found on Mr. Master's chocolates, so it is true that she wasn't wearing gloves. Yeah, see? Exactly. I'm much too above a slob for that. You do believe me, Greggy. Is your face stuffed with nothing but desserts? Sorry, Manny. I think it's her belly that's stuffed. Were Master's desserts all that you ate? Actually, no. After the afternoon tea, I also ate Icy's desserts. You mean you entered the victim's room? Yeah, see? Exactly. The room is empty after all. Perhaps the victim was already dead by then. But my first bite tasted way too salty and I couldn't eat it. so I ate the delicious star-shaped dessert that was nearby. Miss Delicious, you really are a glutton. It's rare you see a woman with this kind of appetite. That's all I did. Greggy, Manny, everyone, I'm sorry I caused you trouble. Well, now that you've told us the truth, everything's fine. There's no need to apologize. This does not mean that your testimony is trustworthy. I'll be investigating the victim's room after this. Only then will I decide if your testimony is true. Prosecutor Von Karma, I'd like to go as well. I also need to ascertain whether my reasoning up until now has been correct. I'll let you follow, but I have no intention of letting you investigate. That's enough for me. In the Dover room, what is the meaning of this? Whoa! Huh. Alright. The desserts adorning the victim's room had disappeared without a trace. Looks like they are all melted. Was this the true killer's doing? A body that was hidden inside a dessert and a murder weapon that was moved. Further investigation would be required to arrive at the truth of this case. Ah! Always with the to be continueds at moments of such importance. Ah! This game! Alright, nah. We keep going. Man, I never thought I'd be so hype about being about playing as Edgeworth's dad. This game has been actually, truthfully, pretty damn phenomenal. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This game has a very strong case to be in the upper echelons of the best of the entire franchise so far, and I'm in case 3. This is awesome.